I, as I live and breathe, the domestic gordita. Oh my God, how are you, friend? How are you? Hey, Jasmine girl, thank you for being here. Domestic gordita, I haven't seen you. I mean, it's been a long time. That's my fault. It's my fault. You hear me? My fault. But thank you so much for being here. Oh my gosh, I love that. Okay, so I started it a little early just so that we can get people into the room because I want to talk about it. I hope you guys watched it. It's worth the watch. Is it 6? Can I get a beverage? Hey, Joy. Hey, Carmen. Hey, girl. Hey, Lady AP. Hey, Queen Kathy. I've missed you guys too, girl. I've missed you guys too. Oh, everybody's coming in the room. Okay, 30 people right away. I hope you guys have watched it. Living Queen. Hey, girl. Hey. Yes. Yes. So good content. So good. Kim B. The whole time, mama. The whole time. I mean, listen, hindsight, and I don't have children nor a busy life with, you know what I mean, is 2020. But we're going to talk about it. If you haven't seen this, you should see it. And don't worry if you haven't seen it. We're not really spoiling it for you. I mean, there's a little bit of a shock value, absolutely, but everyone in the world is talking about it right now. So it was if you okay, so here's what it is. I knew the punchline, but as I'm watching it, I was like, really? No. 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 And then they get to it, and I'm like, oh shit, yeah. Whew. Oh. Oh. 7 p.m. on the East Coast. Yes. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, you guys. So we can get more folks. 20 people in the room. This is getting more people in the room than Love After Lockup. Faster. I'll probably start in 5 at the 5-minute mark. Honestly, it's even more wild to watch if you know. Yeah, yes, that's exactly what it is, Carmen. Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm. Hey, are you in the city or are you just in the state? You know what I mean? Are we talking Buffalo, Syracuse? Outside of New York City, north? What's that called? Not White Castle. That's terrible. I didn't say that. Is it called White Plains? Girl, a minute. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yes, Kirsten told her how she needed to bleepity bleep bleep every day. Yeah. I there at some point, so I was having a martini while drinking it, while watching it. And at some point, I can't remember when it was. I don't know at what point, but I let a visceral reaction and I yelled at the TV. Like it just rolled through my body. And I was like, the fuck? Like I felt it from my toes just come up. Westchester. Okay, yeah, Westchester. Felt it from my toes just come up, just like boil up through my body. And I was like, wow. Like it just, I never yell at the TV. Okay. Maybe I'm like, oh no, don't go there. Oh no, don't go in there. Don't go in there. Like I'll do that, but I don't never be like, I'm like never. Okay. Wild. Mm-hmm. I think you're getting back in front of your former key audience. I really hope so, because y'all were the best, are the best, still the best. I'm waiting for like Pink Jeep. Haven't seen her in a minute. There is Punky Reggae Party. Haven't seen. Mickey slides in every once in a while. I also haven't seen Scorpio or Lynn J. I haven't seen her come back. Ramsterdam. But Ramsterdam is on Instagram. I see her on Instagram. Who else is there? People are going to be so mad at me. I know you're going to be mad at me that I don't remember. Some of y'all have changed your names too. I can see the pictures. Mac, M-A-K. I can see the pictures, but I can't necessarily see the faces or see the names. Ramsterdam, yeah. In the words of Nene Leakes, that mama was a low down monkey with a wig on. I ain't never wanted to fight someone more in my life. Woo child. Like, listen, and I didn't have a great mom. Like, I had a mom who had a hard time with motherhood, didn't know how to do it, did the best that she could with the tools in her tool belt. I am scarred for life. And honestly, at least my mother said some of the things to me, but said it to my face. Said it to my face. Oh my God. Oh my God. Here you are. Here you are. You're here. Nice to see ya. Yeah, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Let me get a beverage real quick. I know I said I was going to start at 5 minutes, but let's just get you a beverage. Get you, in the words of or in the mannerisms of Evelyn from the internet, or of the internet, from the internet. Beverage. You know what's funny is that somebody got Evelyn and I confused. They went into Evelyn's comment section on TikTok and were like, "Don't you do 90 Day Fiance recaps?" And so she then responds and she's like, "Not me. I think you're talking about my good sis Wahima." And I'm like, and then she tagged me in it. So that came over. I was like, "Hey, the dating doula, you saw the announcement, girl. You and the you and the Patreon. You saw the announcement, girl. We're getting back to business. Okay? We're getting back to business. we getting back to what's happening over here. You know what I mean? We're living our best lives. Living our best lives and doing our good lives on YouTube." Okay. 30 seconds. Let me cue up my melanated. I be forgetting what I say. I'm like, what do I say? Hey guys, it's Wahima, but just click that. Almost there. I should take pictures because Kendra looked like a culprit. she looks like a villain. She looks like the villain's like sidekick, but still a villain. Hey guys, it's Wahima, but just call me Wah. Melanated. Welcome to my recap of Number Unknown Number, the high school catfish. That is a terrible title. Okay, it is a terrible title. It's a terrible title of a show. I almost forgot what I was doing just now. Hey, Annie, that's a name I recall. Yeah, is that a koi fish? It's cute. Yes, and the domestic gordita. Hi, friend. Okay. Hi to everybody. Thank you guys so much for being here. Absolutely, like, I can't say it, but some people can. I cannot say it, but some people can. Hey, Joseph. All right. Let's begin at the beginning. So, this documentary is on Netflix. Is it the greatest documentary in the world? No. But is the content of what's being told to us so salacious, good, but also super duper sad? Yes. And I think that I remember this happening, but I don't know, girls. It was in and around COVID. I was on the West Coast. I wasn't thinking about the middle of the country and what they was doing over here. But now that I'm here, number one, the Michigan accent in this episode, I was like, or in the show, I was like, I mean, I've never heard it. It was like Gino. It was like a lot of Ginos. It was a lot of Ginos just talking at me. Okay. So, anyways, here, let me not this. Okay, and this one right here. Okay, not Love After Lockup. Okay, yep. So this documentary, set the scene for you. We have a sleepy looking girl who comes on stage, sleek, blonde hair. You can tell it's natural. Okay? That natural blonde. From from a babe was that blonde. And she's just like, I'm from Beale City, Michigan. It's a really, really small town, one stoplight and two bars. Now that's a small ass town. That is a small ass town. This town, their high school is called Beale City High School, but it's a K through 12 situation. 700 children max, 30 per class. Now, I don't know if that is 30 per like class of 2000. I just aged myself. Class of 2004, still wrong. Still old. But I don't know. I don't know if that's per like it must be the class cuz but at the same time I'm like they were so big on sports. That means that everybody played sports cuz if you only have 30 kids per class, what? 20 of them play all the sports? Does anyone do theater or do they all just do everything? Okay, anyways. So, very small town. These are from the kids' perspective now. They're talking. There's several young people that they show us. We see Sophie, we see Macy, and they're like, "Yeah, the town is very big on gossip because it's so small, and even the adults are gossiping about what the high school kids are doing." And let me tell you, there's a couple of parents in this show that I'm like, "Oh, this is what happens when you're just like from a small town and you just get it like you just go to high school and then you just like go work at the local grocery or something. You know what I mean? Like where you don't leave and go and like be in the world because there are a lot of petty parents out there who be all up in their kids' business. They were, you know them because you saw them when you were in high school. I didn't have those parents. My parents weren't even worried at all what people at the school was doing. But people have them. They exist. And definitely bored moms. Oh, so I mean, just in the business, living their glory lives through their children. So anywho, so she says that people in their town spend 13 plus hours on their phone. I was like, girl, that's everywhere. That's everywhere. If I didn't work, well, it's between my phone and my TV, girl, I'm looking at something. So we find out that this girl has been cyberbullied for more than a year. We start off with October 2020. It was a year into their relationship. And we have to remember, I'm gonna keep saying it because I kept forgetting it. When I say a year into their relationship, they are Lauryn and Owen, and they are 14 years old. They are 14, 1-4. It was a year into their relationship. They met each other when they were 12, and I guess got together when they were 13. And the way that the parents are talking about it, it was very telling to me because I realized that at the end of this documentary, these babies are still in school. They're still in high school. They're still in high school at the time of the filming of this documentary. So it's crazy that we're talking about freshmen in high school, damn near middle schoolers, okay? Middle schoolers who got together and their parents got really close because they were, you know, in a small town and they both of the kids played sports. Like she was doing basketball, softball, probably at all, volleyball, and the boy was doing football, baseball, volleyball, I don't know, all the stuff, right? And in this town, there is this one family who every year they have a Halloween party. And I can only imagine that they're like, well, that's going to be what we do. The Millers, they have Halloween parties, okay? And their daughter, Chloe, gets to invite people. Chloe is friends with Owen. Chloe, not so much friends with Lauryn, but has known Lauryn since kindergarten because they all went to school together. So this year, 2020, height of COVID, they're throwing a Halloween party. So we know what's going on. We know which way they lean in that place, right? Halloween party, COVID. And Lauryn is not invited. And Owen is like, what are you talking about? I'll bring my girlfriend. It's going to be fine. Okay. So 2 weeks before the party, Lauryn gets gets a message from an unknown number. And it's like, hi, Lauryn, Owen is breaking up with you. And here's the truth. I did that voice only because the documentary uses like some kind of fake voice to mouth the words of the person texting. And I wish they would not have done that. Or I wish they would have gotten somebody to do it who can speak it in current vernacular, because the way that automated voice was doing it was really it was like really upsetting me. I was like, stop this, it's too much. So Um, it was 2 weeks, she gets that, and then she also gets another text message from an unknown number that he's coming to the party and we're gonna fuck. I said that, I said that. He's coming to the party and we're gonna F. 14, 14. So some unknown number from some was sounding like a little girl is telling another little girl that Owen, her boyfriend, is gonna come to this party at Chloe's throwing and that they're gonna have sex. So, Owen asks his good friend Chloe, like, who sent this? And Chloe's like, I don't know who sent that. So they forgot about it. They did their little due diligence and they moved on about their lives. 11 months later. Okay. Now, the parents have known that this happened, but they didn't take the kids' phones away because it wasn't a thing. It happened for that 2 weeks before the party. I don't know if Lauryn and Owen went to the party because it doesn't even matter. But that was the first thing. 11 months later. So that is sometime in the summer of 2021. Maybe right as the school starts. Yeah. If that was 11 months, September, great. It starts again. And it's like, oh, you guys are the golden relationship. You're such a forever couple. Like, just sounds like a real hating ass little girl. That's what it sounds like. These messages they're getting. And that she's like ugly, Lauren's ugly, and you need to leave his ugly ass, your ugly ass alone. Basically, it's like some little girl who seemingly likes Owen and wants Lauryn and Owen to break up. And in this message, the silly little girl calls Lauryn by her nickname, which is Lo. Jessie J. Hey, girl. Hey. Okay, it's Netflix Unknown Number High School Catfish. You should watch it. Okay. So that happens. So they're like, okay, it has to be somebody we know. It has to be somebody we know, because who would use my nickname? Somebody close enough to me to know to use the nickname. Can't just be some random girl who sits in the desk across the way, like, and doesn't know that people, or knows that people call me Lo. So we then meet Sean Licari and we meet Kendra Licari, and that is Lauryn Licari's parents. Then we meet Dave McKinney and Jill McKinney, and that's Owen McKinney's parents. So we get introduced to them and they're all separate, kind of talking about the situation. And the families grew very close. Kendra and Jill hung out all the time. Kendra describes Lauryn and Owen as a high school couple in a movie. These are kids. I'm like, something about calling them a couple. Yeah, are they a couple? Yeah, I guess. But like, these are bebés, 14-year-old in a movie. What movie? High School Musical? What movie are you referencing? Okay. Now, like, the reason why I keep saying their age is because throughout this, it's very easy to forget that they are that young. I don't know. There's a part of me that was like, oh, they were seniors when this happened. Like, that's why they're talking about having sex and doing all this. But it's been a long time since I was in high school. And like, when I was in high school, I wasn't having sex. And did people talk about sex? And like, yeah, they did. But like, it's just like a lot. Amsterdam, I was just talking about you, girl. We were just talking about you. Scroll through the chat. You'll see we were just talking about you. So I mean, just I want you to keep that in mind. Maxine's Live. You guys on YouTube should get paid a lot more than you do, because I usually listen to reviews in the morning. Mention them. Hey, thank you. Okay. Just remember, children. So at some point, Owen tells his two good friends, Sophie and Macy, about the text. Now you need to, like, in your brain, remember that Owen, Macy, Chloe, Sophie, friends, known each other for a long time, since kindergarten. Since they're in a class of only 30, Lauryn is a part of that, but not a part of that little group. So within the group, there are micro groups. Lauryn plays sports with those three girls I mentioned. They're not friends though, but they be on the same team. Okay, that's how small this situation is. So Owen tells Sophie, Macy, about this, right? And the text was, effing trash B. Don't effing wear leggings with your anorexic A. So that's the text message that Lauryn gets, calling her trash, calling her anorexic, telling her not to wear any leggings. And so Lauren says that this really affected how she thought about herself. It just affected her because she was like, do I look bad? Like, why is this person saying this? And the person also texted, worthless. You effed up his life. His family hates you. So this person is texting her that she messed up Owen's life for what the catalyst is. We don't know. This person's just texting and then says, his family hates you. But the thing is, though, Kendra, Jill, the parents, they're all really close. They're all super close. So it seems weird that some rando would start just telling these children that this is what's happening in their own lives. And there was a part of me that was like, if somebody were to tell me that my boyfriend hated me and that his parents hated me too, and I'm like literally at their house every weekend, like it only takes one question of, hey, Mama McKinney, do you hate me? Because this person says you hate me. It would only take one conversation, but I'm also not a 14-year-old and I've lived a full life. I can only imagine what a 14-year-old is going through when they're hearing this or when they're seeing this. So she talks to her mom about it. Lauren talks to her mother, Kendra, about it. And Kendra's like, don't worry about it. Like, just ignore it. This is just somebody hater. Like, it's fine. It'll go away. And then there's another text message that comes through that's like, Owen and I down to suck and finger his dick and fingers in my ps and mouth. Okay. These are the text messages that Lauren is getting. So the parents actually went to the school hoping to get some action. Kendra says that unfortunately, in her opinion, she doesn't think the school did a very good job of like trying to figure out what's going on. So in enters the principal and the superintendent. They ended up speaking to Lauryn and Owen because they were like, well, maybe it's just Lauren trying to like beg for attention. So they do this and they end up finding out that it obviously can't be Lauryn and Owen because just the way that they were shooken and scared about it happening. So they just let it go. So then the principal decided that he was going to tell Lauren, listen, I'm going to be a sleuth. Okay. Call me Sherlock Holmes. Anytime you get a text message, I want you to tell me so that I can check the surveillance cameras and I can see what these little children is doing. And as soon as he said that, I was like, girl, how do you know? How would you even know? Like, what, you're going to like ask every person who had their phone up at that exact same time what they were doing? I'm sorry. How are you going to say it over the school intercom? Hey, you, anybody at their phone? Who's texting? Like, that doesn't seem like seems like a really foolhardy way of trying to figure it out. But I guess the principal's trying to do whatever they can to try to see like what's going on and how this could be happening. So when the moms got together, they went to work with the administrators to try to see if the administrators could get the kids not to have their phones and, things like that. And the administrator is like, I don't know how we police that. Like, kids use their phones for everything. It's a good educational tool. Like, for us to be like, now no one can use the phones is not necessarily going to stop this from happening. And so they're at a loss trying to figure it out, but I guess maybe they're communicating to the kids at school. And so people are starting to realize that this thing is actually happening and to be on the lookout for unknown numbers, right? So at this point, 2 years into their relationship, they break up. So if the text messages start up again September of 2021, I imagine by like early 2022 or some part of 2022, they end up breaking up. So at this time, they're no longer 14, they're probably 15 when they break up. Okay. So again, 15-year-olds, they end up breaking up. And the person who is the unknown starts to tell Lauren to kill herself. So it's now like, it feels like they gave this person what they wanted and Lauren and Owen broke up, but the person is still text messaging Lauren and Owen. Owen is getting some text messages too, but not at the rate. Well, he's getting a lot of text messages. They just don't necessarily tell us what all he's getting. I think he's getting things like, oh, she's trash and like things like that. But really the most egregious ones are coming to Lauren because it's like, they just hate Lauren or whatever. Hey, there's 55 people in the room. Go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. I know there's somebody on Facebook watching, so please give the video a thumbs up. Also, scrolling across the screen, if you get the hee ha-has at all throughout this, go ahead and give your girl a tip. You know what I mean? If you want to do a super thanks, you can do that as well. But thank you so much for joining me. Hello to everybody who hasn't seen me in a long time. I'm back. Okay, so After the person tells Lauren to kill herself, they then go to the police officer, the sheriff or whatever. And his name is somebody Main. His last name is Main. Officer Main. So Officer Main comes in and he's like, I'll tell you who it is. I'm looking for a group of students with a very close bond. A group of students who are so close that they're not going to tell nobody what they're doing. They're going to keep the secret. And I said, that does not exist. If you have more than 3 people in any friend group or 3 people plus in any friend group, someone's snitching. That's too many people. 2 best friends could keep a secret, but a third will? Someone in that trifecta is not happy. Okay? Someone in that trifecta is not happy. With little girls? Oh, no. So he thinks that he's just gonna like come at these kids and like get them to tell him what's going on. And so then at some point, the unknown number sends a message to Lauren talking about something that happened at the basketball game. And so that leads Lauren and her mother to believe that it must be somebody who was either at the game or somebody who is on the team of the game. So now Detective Main is on the case, okay? He's trying to figure out what's going on. And at this point, it starts to feel like stalking because it's not just somebody like saying vitriolic things. It's like them being able to pinpoint what you did, when you did it, who you did it with. And that becomes a major concern. So Kendra and Lauren start looking into the basketball team, and they decide that it must be mean girl Chloe Wilson or Miller, whatever her last name is, but Chloe. Remember that name. Remember that name. Because Chloe's parents, something wrong with them. Okay. So we find out that Lauren and Chloe have never gotten along. They've been knowing each other since kindergarten, as I said, and they've never gotten along. And Owen steps in and he says that he's like, Chloe's my good friend, but like, she's not a nice person. Like, it's not like she's like a bully, but she's not nice. And I can relate to that because my therapist told me, she's like, listen, you are a kind person, but you're just not nice. And I was like, what does that mean? Okay. I don't think I'm not nice. I don't know. So in that moment, I was like, is Chloe a low-key mean girl and a shit talker? I don't think I'm a mean girl. But also, I don't go out of my way to please people. Like, if you're in my spirit, if you're in my orbit, and I feel like here's a thing I want to do for you, I'm going to do it. But if I'm done with the conversation, I got to get out of that conversation. If I feel like you asked me a question that I don't want to answer, then I'm going to tell you, oh, I'm sorry, I don't want to answer that question. So that's where it comes off that you could see somebody's not nice. So it sounds like Chloe was a mean girl. Maybe she didn't outright bully people, but she was in a popular group of people and she threw parties and she was an athlete and she was probably kind of a little full of herself and her parents are in on it. I'm not saying a parent who allows their child to throw a party is in on the shit, but there's a little bit about me that goes, yeah, you're in on the shit. You want your kid to be popular. You want your kid to be whatever. And that can breed a little bit of like, a little mean girl behavior. What do you guys think? Yeah, Chloe's dad showing up at the school in the whole uniform gave bully too much. Yeah. It gave a little something, Gave a little something. And we'll talk about this later, but it feels like Officer Main so Officer Main is a police officer, but Chloe's dad is a police officer too, and I feel like they got beef. I feel like they got some beef. Because at the end of it, now I don't know if they're police officers in the same department, but I gotta assume so, right? This is Bill City. It's really small. Okay. So, anywho, it's like they wanted to be the cool parents. So, Chloe has been called into the office multiple times because people have complained that she's mean and that her and her little friend group some are bullies. Now, Chloe's parents don't believe it. They're just like, people are jealous of our daughter. Okay. She's cool. She's athletic. She's maybe has a little bit of unsportsmanlike conduct, but every bad bitch does. Does not a bad bitch have some haters? That's the energy they were giving. That's the energy that they were giving. So her dad's like, she's a leader with a huge friend group. I mean, even friends at other schools. So like, duh, that's why people hate her. That's why people hate her, because she is that bitch. Okay. Sorry, not sorry. Exactly. Exactly. So, I wrote down here her parents thinks that she's a shit. It's true. So, Officer Maine is like, was Chloe jealous of Lauren? Now, here's the other caveat. Owen and Chloe are friends and they were close. Not like brother and sister. The friend group thinks that Chloe had a crush on Owen, but Owen then got with Lauren. And so it kind of points to her at some point. So now we are 17 months into when the messages started up again. So if it started up again in September of 2021, we're 17 months past that. Girl, that's now 23. Okay, right? 12 months. 17 months. Yeah. 22. It's 2022. And the moms wanted to start confronting the kids. So they go to the coach and they're like, "Hey coach, tap us in. Can we have a conversation with the kids and be like, whoever's doing this, you need to stop right now. We're going to beat you up." And the coach is like, "Sure." Because the coach is pissed off that the kids are fighting. And so the coach is like, "Yeah, you can do it, but I'm going to need you to go talk to the administrators and make sure it's cool." And so they go and talk to the administrators, and the superintendent is like, "Hell no, you can't be attacking people's kids on campus, asking them what they had got in their phone." Because now Jill and Kendra and whoever Jill can get on her side are really trying to have everybody go through their phones to see if their kids have apps and things that allow you to send unknown numbers. Jill is on the motherfucking case, okay? Even though a lot of the negativity is not happening necessarily to her son, it is like Owen is feeling a certain way, he's growing angry, but I don't necessarily know that from what we saw that Owen was being threatened the way that Lauren was. So it felt like, why isn't Kendra like doing a little bit more? Why is she doing a little more? Because it feels like Jill's out on the front line ready to fight anybody. So the parents are making like a huge deal of this, which it is a huge deal, but they're doing it outside of like law officers because they feel like they're not getting the support that they need from administrators and the law. Okay. So Jill used Owen's phone to contact Chloe and then started to give her what Chloe's mother refers to as the what for. So one day, Owen contacts Chloe and starts to be like, "You're doing it. Why don't you just come clean? Like, who do you think you are?" All this stuff. And Chloe's like getting upset because she's like, "Owen, we're friends. Like, I wouldn't do this to you. Like, it's not me. I don't know why everybody thinks it's me." It turns out that it was actually Jill using Owen's phone coming at Chloe, trying to get her to confess. Let me tell you, Mama Chloe was not feeling it. Mama Chloe was like, this is too much, right? So Jill, so then even to the point where Sophie and Macy start to ask Chloe, her tight friend group start to ask Chloe if she's the one who did it. And that's why I say you can't have 3 people in a group. 2 best friends can keep a secret, but 3 are not. There's going to be a faction. Okay. So what it ended up happening is the other 2 mean girls were like, "Well, we don't want this smoke because we're not doing it. But maybe it is Chloe because she a hater and she's also a mean girl. So like, let's do that." So the mean girl family end up going away for the summer, right? As soon as they hit over the county line into Florida, the unknown number starts to use a Florida number to do it. So to send the evil messages. And then that's when everyone got suspicious because they were like, "Why would Chloe do it? Why would Chloe do this if it's obvious that it's coming from now a new number?" So the police were like, "Just give us your phone, let us go through it, and let's just exonerate you of it." So that's what she does. Chloe ends up giving the police officers her phone. They comb through it and they don't find anything. Then this person sends out another text message that's like, "The police went through my phone. They didn't find nothing. Whoop-de whoop, boop, boop, boop." And so that's really when the heat got pulled off of Chloe. Because they were like, "Oh, it can't be Chloe. There's no way that she would like say that about herself. There's no way that she would do that. No way." And I said, "You know what? I agree. That's crazy." That's crazy. So it definitely cannot be Chloe. So Then we get another group of messages that come, and it's around Christmas time. And so this is giving me like Christmas 2022. And it starts to talk about how Owen really liked his Christmas presents. And it shows a picture of his Christmas presents. And so they're like, oh my God, who could have taken a picture of this? Like, it has to be somebody in our family. It has to be somebody in our family who's done it. And so then the police are like, who could it possibly be? Enter Owen's cousin, Adriana. So Adriana was bullied by Sophie, Macy, and Chloe. Again, they're all on the same sports team, volleyball this time. And Adriana has never felt comfortable around Chloe. In fact, Adriana's mother even put something on Facebook trying to like get other parents to be aware that there might be some bullying happening at Bill City High School. Well, Chloe's parents didn't like that shit. And they felt like Adriana's mother was stirring the pot and causing some issues. This is past. So there's already now a speculation because Adriana apparently lied on this group of girls, and they were like, yeah, Adriana told everybody that we were bullying her, that we threw carrots at her, but that's not what happened. And I said, you three bullies, you three nasty bitches. No, I'm just kidding, they're children. But like, I'm like, I could totally see this happening. I could totally see Chloe, Macy, and Sophie being a mean girl group. It happens. And there's no like, children in middle school are evil, and if you don't fix them and their behavior, by the time they get to high school, it can only get worse. And I'm not going to say that there'll never be good people. It's what happens. We were all young girls in high school once. It is what happens. There could have been a mean evil bitch in high school and grew up to be a better person once she got up underneath her like drama filled home. You don't know what's going on in the house, you know what I mean? So you gotta leave room, but that don't mean that they weren't bullying little Adriana. So Adriana gets called in, and Officer Main talks to Adriana. It scared Adriana so bad that she's like, I don't even want to see law enforcement anymore. Like I'm traumatized. Anytime I see a police, I get scared. And I said, welcome to being Black. Welcome. The police are not your friend if you are Black. Okay, I don't ever think of like, yes, the police. I'm like, oh shit, what's about to happen? What am I gonna get accused of? So Adriana is feeling low because she's under suspicion at this point, and then Adriana gets a message that is like, oh, talk to Owen, we got to get Low out of here, or some shit like that. And so Adriana like breaks down and cries, but this exonerates her. Because it's like, why would she send a picture? Why would she send a message to herself if she's the one who's doing it? And the message comes while she's with her family sitting in front of the TV. So that is when we call in the FBI, because at that point, Owen mentions to his mother, Jill, that he is now suicidal, that he's not, like this has gone on too long. And that, Lauryn is very upset. There's a lot going on. Lauren's family is having a lot of financial issues at this point. Kendra says that she made time for her daughter, but she didn't make time for her husband, Sean, and they're always fighting, and that they ended up moving 4 different houses during this time frame. 4. I can't even imagine. Like, what's that lease like? You didn't even have a year lease. You just had a month to month, and you had to move out of different homes. They moved 4 different times within Beale City, and they're like, daughter is a star athlete and going through all this drama. I can't even imagine what that family went through. Okay, during this time. So Owen is like, and at this point, Owen and Lauryn are broken up. I don't know if they're talking still. I don't know what the connection looks like, but the parents are still friends. But Lauryn and Owen are broken up. And it's still kind of moving through all of the people in Owen's life. The messages are going through all the people in Owen's life. So once he gets suicidal, the feds get involved. Finally, Sheriff Main, calls in the big guns. So then we get somebody named Brad from the FBI to come in and do this. Meanwhile, Owen starts to move on. I think it's I don't know what year it is, junior year at this time. And he starts to date a girl. Again, these are children, from Pincanary, somewhere, Michigan. That is like hours away from Beale City. He's dating her, things are going well, and then one day she text messages him and she's like, "Hey, my mom got this weird message from an unknown number telling my mom like some stuff about me and you." And Owen is like, "Oh my god, the unknown number person has now reached out to my long distance girlfriend's mom to talk shit." And so he broke up with her and he was just like, "I can't do this. I cannot do this. I can't do it." So his mother says that at this point he got really angry and he was like pretty aggressive with his ball playing, and that they could tell it was really taking a huge strain and toll on him, as it would anybody. Now at this point you're thinking to yourselves, why haven't they changed these babies numbers? Why haven't they got these people new phones? But they ended up saying at the very beginning that the reason why they didn't do that was because they felt like, why should the kids have to suffer and have their telephone numbers changed? And I'm like, suffer? They're barely 14 years old. It's not like they had the number. What? Like, it's not like their whole entire life is linked to that number. But then also Jill and Kendra are both saying, well, we wanted to find out who it was. It was more important for them to find out who it was than it was for them to stop the messages. Because Jill said that she didn't want to end up inviting that nefarious person to her home one day on accident. It was more important for you to find out who the person was than for you to stop the messages from coming by changing the number. Because you felt like you might, that nefarious person, you didn't want them in your house. Okay. I mean, I'm going to say this, like I don't fault. No. Let me tell you guys right now, as an HR professional, if there are things happening in your life that you don't like, you've got to document them. And then not only do you need to document it, you have to make efforts to stop the thing from happening. Because if you don't, that looks like bad on you. Even though you might in your head have a good reason to not want to do something. But if you don't make efforts to stop the shenanigans, if you don't like tell the person no, or like or like not tell the person no, that I don't want you to put that in your head that I'm thinking of that. But if you don't like just kind of do things to protect yourself, if this gets taken to a court of law, it could look suspicious. A lawyer could jump on that and be like, well, if you were afraid, why didn't you move? Well, if you were afraid, why didn't you get new locks on your door? Things like that. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that like it's your fault. I'm just saying that there are certain steps you should take to kind of like save yourself if you can. Now, that being said, that being said, the FBI comes in what feels like a month's time. It just does the forensic things that need to get done. Utilizes all the resources at the hand of the FBI and finds out that it's fucking Kendra. This entire time, it's that baby Lauren's mother, her own mammy. Okay? Her own mammy. And when I think about how long this went on and how it felt like it took Officer Brad or Special Agent Brad, 3 months to maybe figure it out? I'm like, at what point when your daughter is getting threatened, not your daughter, Jill. Like, I guess I'm just like, why didn't Officer Maine call in the feds earlier? Is it because maybe by the court system or the, process of investigating this, like he had to do some kind of due diligence first, some preliminary investigating first, and then if he couldn't solve the crime, call in the big guns? Is that why? It wasn't until Owen got suicidal that the FBI was involved. But I'm like, how y'all know that Lauren wasn't suicidal? How y'all know that Lauren wasn't suicidal? Because it was all coming at Lauren. It was all coming at Lauren. These people sound like they need to leave their small town. They're very bored and very enmeshed with kids. Yes. So there's a lot of things that I'm just like, I'm not saying that they should have went to the FBI first, because I think, again, sometimes you can't just go to the big guns first. You have to try the little guns first. And but it felt like the Officer Maine had, he had investigated a lot of children's before he did anything. He didn't investigate any adults, it felt like. And that's one of the bigger things, I think the issues that Chloe's parents had is that they felt like Officer Maine didn't do the right thing. Like he didn't do his due diligence um for this. So, hmm, right. Um Officer Maine shows up at Kendra's house and he's like, "Hey Kendra, girl, how you doing?" Kendra's like, "Oh my God, what's up?" And he's like, "Yeah, come on over here." And so she comes around the house and she's like, "Yeah, what's going on?" And he's like, "So FBI did their due diligence and we got the information back and it turns out it's coming from you." And she's like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah, but Warrant here for all your electronics. So bring them front and center." Actually, is Lauren here? Yeah, Lauren's here. Okay, can she go in her room or go outside or something? Because I don't want to do this with her. This is real embarrassing for her. Oh, okay, yeah. So then she goes into the house and they're like, "Hey, did you know what's going on?" She's like, I don't know. I don't know why you would think that. Why do you would think that? Her husband Sean comes home because they told him to call Sean. So at this point, Lauren is there. Lauren got brought back in because she admits to it to the officer. She's like, "Yeah, it just got out of hand. It just got out of hand." It's been out of hand, bitch. It's been out of hand. It's been out of hand. It was out of hand 20 months ago. What do you mean it just got out of hand? So now we're all shook and shocked. And Lauren is so shocked that she didn't even know what to believe. She's sitting next to her mother, just like looking like not aghast, not whatever. I think truly that she cannot reconcile, and to this day, cannot reconcile the behavior of her mother via this unknown number versus the behavior of her mother in her real life. Like, I think that there is that enough separation where she's like, I know she did it. But it, could very hard to believe. So, anyways, they call the dad, Sean Licari. Sean Licari comes home and he's like, "What's going on?" And they're like, "We have a warrant to like search your house. And so I just want to let you know that that's what's going on." And so he's like, "Well, she got 2 phones. So don't forget to check both phones." And they're like, "Oh." So they go back in the house, like, "Kendra, girl, you got 2 phones?" And Kendra's like, "What?" And then the other police officer, not Officer Maine, is like, "Bitch, we will turn this house upside down." I don't want to turn this house upside down, but I will. So just give me all the electronics. Give me all the electronics. Everyone is mad at Kendra. There are 3 grown men in her home wanting to tear her asunder. And all she has is to hug Lauren. Like, "Oh, Lauren, I'm so sorry." And Lauren just like stuck. Lauren is already a person that doesn't have a lot of emotions on her face. She's already a person that just like, and so sitting there watching her like just take this news in and not have any emotion is even more heartbreaking. Even more heartbreaking. So she finally gives up the phone and they go through it and they find what they're looking for. I'm just saying, an investigation like this would be as thorough as it is this documentary if it took place in an urban inner city. Yeah. Oh God, yes. It would not be. It would not at all. So, girl, we're all sitting here like, how? So that's why when you watch the documentary and you know that it's the mom, you're like, how did she talk about this to these producers knowing that it was her who did it? How is that possible? How is that possible? So Lauren is going through a lot of emotions. She says that she's sad, mad, and she's feeling a little crazy. And Kendra's like, "Oh, finally it's over. Thank you for catching me. Thank you for catching me so that I could stop doing it because I couldn't control myself." Officer Maine tells Jill it was Kendra. And Jill's like, "Kendra who?" Uh Kendra's from Bunny House? You mean Kendra with Brooke and Holly now? That live with Hugh Hefner? Who? Kendra who? Who? Kendra who? Because it ain't the Kendra who sat next to me and watched us go through this. And it's not that Kendra. It can't be. It's not that Kendra. It cannot be. Jill is so hurt that she don't know what to do. Because mind you, Jill has attacked the entire Chloe family. Jill has gone on a campaign chanting through Bill's streets, talking shit about Chloe Miller and her peoples. Okay? Like, Jill has done a lot of damage in this town. She's got the pitchforks out, chasing 14-year-olds down the street, pretending to be her son, talking to little girls, yelling at them, trying to get them to admit that it happened. Jill been doing dirt. So she like, it can't be. So the Millers feel like Mike, the officer, Maine, should have done his job because they say they knew Kendra was crazy. And I'm like, well, how come y'all didn't say that in the beginning? And why do you think Kendra's crazy? So Kendra then, like, when the producers are like, so why'd you do this? Kendra's like, we all make mistakes. I have not lived a perfect life. And neither have you. People have it's crazy because people have broken the law. I'm not the only person who's broken the law and that people have broken the law and gotten away with it. You've driven drunk, you stole some stuff. The only difference is that I got caught. But if I hadn't got caught, it would be the same. And I said, Dad, no, it's not the same. It's not the same. That's not the same. I don't know. So Michelle, she's been reading the most heinous things about herself, telling her to unalive herself, totally disassociating. Absolutely. That's low. I moved house last November because my neighbor couldn't leave me alone. Police couldn't do anything until I hired a lawyer, but by that it was done and moved. Oh my God, Rapster, I'm so sorry. Hence why I believe she knew as well, or at least found out at some point. Kendra's a nutcase. Wait, who? Okay. LSS, what'd you say? What'd you say up here? Much of the information mentioned within the text came about following conversations with the teens. Oh. Dad was just a little oblivious for me. I give him a little side eye too. Okay. I think though, I'll give him a little bit of grace, especially if you're under immense financial strain. And so here's another thing, and we'll get to it. But they're under immense financial strain because Kendra was lying about going to work. I don't know how Kendra found money to pretend like she was getting a paycheck from somewhere. But he was more than just oblivious. He was like a 1950s man, and his wife just handled all the finances. He didn't pay a bill. I don't know how did she give him an allowance? Because like he let her do all the finances. So he never knew that she didn't have a job for all that time. She would just get up and go to work, and we don't know where she went. I don't know, to an internet cafe to harass her daughter. The fact that Kendra was focused on the crime and not the damage she did to her daughter is wild. This is why I don't believe in nonviolence in all situations. Kira needs hands put on her. Yeah, no, she does. Because I'll go back and read it. Owen and I down to suck and finger. His dick and fingers in my mouth. That's Kendra. That's Kendra. That's Kendra Lakari. That's Lauren's mother. Sending Lauren, who's 14, disgusting things. Okay. So Sean says that he really thought that Kendra was a great mom. That the beef between him and Kendra and their finances and their shit, it took backseat to the fact that he never would thought she would do it because she was such a good mom. So then we bring in her first cousin for some reason. We bring in Kendra's first cousin who grew up with her, and I guess to get a little backstory of who Kendra was. But I'm like, we need to talk more to the Millers because I need to know why the Millers thought that she was crazy. So we bring in the cousin, and the cousin's like, listen, I love Kendra down. I like growing up, she was the life of the party. She was outgoing. She did attention seek, but she was always there for you in the end. Like I can tell you right now, if you and I are talking, Kendra would be over there in the corner dancing, trying to get your attention. And I was like, how see that can I'm like, the cousin is better than me because if I have a friend who's constantly trying to upstage me, like I go ahead and be a star girl. I'll go over here. Go ahead and do it. No. Go. You do it. I don't want to like fight with that. But she's like, Kendra likes attention. And she was always there for people and she was a good person. She was the basketball coach, she was the baseball coach, you know, she was a great mom. Um, and so then she says, like, the reason why I didn't give her a new cell phone is because I wanted to find out who it was. Because Kendra at this point is saying that she did send the text messages for the majority of it, but those initial ones that happened right before the party in 2020, October of 2020, that she didn't send those. And so in order to suss that person out, she decided to pick up the mantle 11 months later and start to harass her daughter so that the other person would come forward and be like, "Hey, stop harassing the person I was harassing." And that's the reason why they didn't get him a new phone, is because I feel like the reason why they didn't get them kids new phones is because Kendra was like, "Don't do it. I'm gonna find the numbers anyway, so it don't matter." like, it is wild what's happening. So she says that she let it consume her. And Lauren then goes, "I know my mom says that she didn't do the original ones, but like I think it was her the whole time." Lauren thinks her mom did it the whole time. Um, And then we find out that Kendra hadn't been working. Her cousin feels like Kendra never went to work at that company called Ferris and just pretended the whole time that she was working when she wasn't. And she has an IT background. So that's the thing, too. The reason why she was able to do all this is because she did actually have an IT background. So she kind of hid her, she was able to hide her identity better than like a normal person would, a regular non IT person would do from the main police. The police officer is like, "Yeah, you know, it is suspicion because Kendra would always come and ask me for updates and see where I was." And I'm like, Officer Maine, you didn't think anything was up that her daughter is being literally harassed. I wouldn't be surprised if Kendra was in your business all day, every day, trying to figure out what you were doing and what you had. So like, what? Um, so she says that it was an escape for her and that she may have picked up on her daughter's insecurities. But the messages really weren't targeted at her, her daughter Lauren. Um, and that she never really thought that Lauren would kill herself. She said, "I knew my daughter and I had talked to her, and like I never thought she would actually kill herself, even though I did tell her to kill herself a lot of times. But like I never thought she would." And so Kendra's trying to tell us that the reason why she sent those nasty things to her daughter was because like she was sending them to herself. Like she wasn't talking to her daughter. She was actually just talking about herself because she was anorexic because she wasn't eating. She was skinny and had a flat ass, and she wasn't as successful as she wanted to be. And I'm like, "Oh my God, if that's what's happening, are you saying that you also weren't happy in your marriage and your husband wasn't loving you right?" Like, you know what I mean? Like there's a lot to unpack in that moment, but it still doesn't make any, it's just still doesn't make an excuse for why she did it. She ends up getting charged with 5 crimes, mainly for stalking. And so during the trial, she was banned from having contact with any of the kids affected. And I'm just like, it's wild to me that it's only for stalking. 1 count for Owen and 1 count for Lauren. Are there no laws against cyberbullying? Are there's no laws for telling a child to kill themselves? Is there, because that's stalking, is being like, "Oh, I saw you at the game. Oh, here's the Christmas present. Oh, I'm going to talk to the person in Pensacola that you're talking to." And like, yeah. But the actual like nasty sexual things that she said to her daughter, that's not a crime. That's what I'm talking about. Did Kendra get any sexual harassment or related charge? Because exactly, is that not a crime to do that? That's a crime for me. She definitely sexually harassed her daughter. And her daughter's a minor. I don't care who the person was. No, 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 no. No wonder why Kendra had plenty of time to harass her daughter. She had no job. Yeah, exactly. It is wild to me that there was no, like, she's not put on some kind of child pedophilia list, because it felt like, and this is what the documentary ends up saying, and Owen and Jill said this, that a lot of the things were her liking Owen, that it felt like she inappropriately had feelings for Owen. So like, I'm like, sexual harassment for your daughter and the talking about having sex with a minor, I don't care if it's fake or not. Them's were babies. You did too much for babies. 14-year-old talking about, "Ha ha, I'm gonna suck his." No, no. Uh-uh. This is it. It also speaks to the fact that I feel like all the parents involved in this are stunted to a certain extent. Like, like I don't know if Kendra's from Bill City or another small town in Michigan, but like it's very interesting to me that there's no true separation between like these parents and these kids. It's like, did y'all all have your kids at 18, 19, right after you graduated from high school? And so like you're really trying to relive the glory days. And so you're unable to see that your child is an actual child, and that this like the disgusting situation that you're talking to them about is like wildly inappropriate. They charged the girl's boyfriend. They charged the girl whose boyfriend would tell her everything. They broke up, and that he would end himself, and when it pretty much, yeah. It's just like it's really, yeah. The Cut article said that there was some odd activity that made it seem like she was physically stalking. Oh. Okay, so there's an article in The Cut. Absolutely, leave that downtown. Yeah. I feel like the doc glossed over the fact that she might have been attracted to Owen. They really did. They only let Jill talk about it and say that it was inappropriate and disgusting. Owen was like, "Yeah, the woman used to cut my steak up. She would go out of her way to like do things for me. She even continued to go to Owen's games, his sports games after they broke up, after Lauryn and then broke up." Also, is there not a crime for the emotional toll that you put on an entire town? Like for the bullying that happened to Chloe? Like, is there no is it just feels like the sentence was light. She got the maximum, but I'm like, can the prosecutors not find anything else in there that they thought they could charge her with? That's like hostile environment. Like there's so many things that if this were a workplace instead of a small town that she could get in trouble for. So she pleaded guilty for one count of stalking and one count for Owen and Lauryn. Then Kendra starts to say that like part of the reason, maybe this is the therapy she got in prison, but part of the reason why she did this is because she was sexually assaulted in high school or sometime, and well, RAPED, and she when her as her daughter grew up, she became fearful and maybe tried to stop that from happening to her daughter. So in a way to stop that from happening to her daughter, she began to sexually harass and tell her daughter to kill herself in order to, like, I don't know, stop her from being RIPD. I'm not sure. The superintendent thinks that it's like Munchausen by proxy or something like that. Like where it's basically Kendra trying to live through low, but and having control over Lo in a way where she was this person who was tormenting Lo, and then Lo would run to her, or Lauryn would run to her for comfort. So she was pushing her daughter externally in order to get her daughter to come to her for love and support. It feels a little extreme. It feels a little extreme, especially if you're already the coach or the assistant coach or the scorekeeper and on all your daughter's things. Like, it feels weird that you would be simultaneously jealous of her and her perfect relationship at 14. Ugh, perfect relationship at 14, and then also want to be with Owen because maybe, I don't know, I mean, there's a lot that could be said. Maybe Owen was really sweet to Lauryn and she wanted her husband Sean to be sweet to her, so she fell in love with Owen. Like, it's just so much. there's there's just so much that like we could unpack from this. It still doesn't make any excuse for that behavior, especially with this lady not in a mental health institution currently, sitting across from us telling us that the only difference is that she got caught. What? That's crazy. You watched her cut your son's steak and didn't find it too much. I don't know. That's crazy. They could have been rich if she did pull this much energy into a job. Let me tell you. I'll tell you right now. Moving out of your small town and getting therapy would have prevented this. Girl, everybody needs to move out of their small town, but people be like, "Oh, I love it. It's so great." I'm like, "No. You got to get out there and learn more about yourself." So, Kendra ended up doing 19 months in prison, and she was able to talk to her daughter while she was in prison, and Lauryn really liked the fact that she could talk to her. Now that she's out of prison, she's unable to see her because she's still a minor. And Lauren is like, well, my dad really hates my mom and I don't think they'll ever be friends again, but like I still feel like I need my mom, like I need her. And I'm like, oh god, Lauren is going to need a lot of therapy, because here's the truth: her mother did some really terrible things to her, and I'm okay if Lauren forgives her at some point in her life, but until she unpacks it all, I don't think it's safe for her to forgive her. I think it creates Lauren has to learn through support how to create boundaries with her mother. Because I can absolutely see you being able to not dissociate, but what is it where you, because Lauren's mother never actually said those things to Lauren's face, it's very easy to be like, that was another person who did it. Even though I know that other person is my mom, but that's not the mom who showed up to me in front of my face every day. The mom who showed up to me in my face every day told me that they loved me. While she was in prison, she told me she loved me over and over again. Like, so yes, she did those things, but that was a different person. That was a different part of my mom's like personality. It's like, it feels like, Lauren may be able to go, oh, my mom has like dissociative disorder. You're not supposed to call it this anymore. Split personality. It's called DID, dissociate identity disorder. Like, she could say that, and so that's not my mom. Like, that's somebody else. I'm just like, yo, shit's wild. I saw a TikTok saying that the way the doc spliced it together made it seem like Lo currently was saying that she loved her mom and missed her. But in actuality, she says she needs space and doesn't know if she can ever trust her again. Oh, because that's exactly what it seemed like. She's like, I don't care what people think. I love my mother. And then when they ask her, like, do you talk to Owen? And she's like, no, I still see Owen in the hallways. And that's when I was like, oh, you still in school? You still live in Beale City? Like, I thought these folks had moved on, child. No, they still living in the same town. She's having to walk around with this scarlet letter on her front, back, and side because her mother's a crazy person. I'm telling you right now, I couldn't trust that family. And that's what the Millers said. The Millers are like, I knew Lauren and Sean would act like they didn't have anything to do with it. And I was like, okay, Millers, Chloe's parents need to take a seat back. They really feel like the whole entire Lacari family is like guilty in this because their princess was uncomfortable for a year. Like, and I'm not trying to put some negative, I'm not trying to say that what Chloe went through wasn't terrible, but I'm like, how can you like hate on Sean and Lauren when it feels like they are the victims, like a huge victim of a person that was living in their home? Like, the Millers are like, no, F the Lacaris. They all knew, they were all in on it, and they wanted to just break our little town down. And I'm like, I don't think that's the truth. I don't think it's the truth at all. They all cannot be involved in that woman's shenanigans. So she ended up getting released from prison in August of 2024. And she said that time in her life is not who she is today and not who she was then. And I was like, no, it was who you were then. And it kind of still is who you are now. So Owen is mad at Lauren, and we don't know why. We don't know why he's mad at her, because they actually broke up what feels like 2 years or a year and a half prior to this even all coming out. And they ignore each other in school with a class of only 30 people. How that's possible, I'm not sure. Jill feels extremely guilty for what she did to Chloe, and that's valid. Extremely guilty for what she did to Chloe. And so the Millers feel like if Brad Peters hadn't stepped in and come in and actually figured out and solved the crime, then their daughter would still be negatively impacted. And I'm like, the lesson of this is there's a lot of lessons to be learned. Chloe didn't deserve what she got, but the reason why people thought that she was the culprit was because she's a mean girl. So maybe we should work on that. Maybe we should work on that. That's all I'm saying. Well, I'm not the whole thing around. People commit accuse you of crimes. Okay, I have a theory about the husband. I think he knew his wife was loony and subtly suggested this to her. He probably said, if only there was some way to find out the texter. He gave up her number and devices too quickly to the FBI. I mean, he had to know something was up. He probably thought she was cheating with the way she was doing stuff. Chloe went on TikTok saying her side of the story, and they knocked and they knocked her and her parents' heads off their shoulders. Chloe went on TikTok saying her side of the story, and they knocked her and her parents' head off their shoulders. Oh. Hey, Sarah. Harriet Turner. I find it hard to believe her claims. Honestly, I have my doubts about everything she says. Who? Chloe? Listen to this. It's flip phones are fine. Oh my God. Flip phones are fine. But anyways, child, go watch it. Go watch it. Oh my gosh. I mean, you go watch it. I am just so taken aback that she's sitting there and she's like, well, we all make mistakes. We all make mistakes. And then I, when you watch it the second time and she's like, Owen and I are down to suck finger F, like F and trash B, don't effing wear leggings with your anorexic A. He's coming to the party and we're gonna causing havoc all throughout the town for no reason. Whatever Kendra said, she loves her daughter. Netflix would show her text like, yeah, that's crazy. Conscious decisions. The Millers must be some kind of local celebrities in their town because their attitude and arrogance from them is beyond crazy work. Yes, I'm telling you. Hey, when Mrs. Miller was like, because if Mike Main had just done a effing job, then none of this would have really happened. Think of that, but with a like Midwestern accent. So if Mike and Damon had done their job, then y'all la la la. And her husband is like, I'm really proud of her for that. You too. Stuntina. And Chloe got her mother's whole face. I look like her. I'm like, what is the behind the Millers? Were they popular in high school and Bill City High class of 2019? I'm sorry, class of 2000. I'm sure they're my age. So they were probably popular class of 2000 at Bill City High. And they were just like, well, our daughter needs to keep the legacy going. She's going to play sports. She's going to do all these things. And, we're going to glorify her during her early teen years. And she's great. The Millers, there just needs to be a follow-up documentary where we really talk about what all Jill did. Okay. I want to know what Jill did to terrorize the Millers. I want to know what the Millers' response was. I just want to know more about the Mean Girl group. Like, let's just take away Lauryn and the Lacaris. Let's just take them out of it. And let's feel what the other parents did. How Sophie's mom got involved in this. How Macy's mom got involved in this. Because, these moms were hanging out. And was it like Macy and Sophie's mom against the Millers? And, how did I mean, come on, if you're going to do it, let's do it. All right, you guys, it's been an hour and 13 minutes. It's been an amazing time talking with you, but I got to eat and get ready for my drag show tomorrow. I got put into another drag competition tomorrow, and I got told about 2 hours ago, so I got to go rehearse. I have to go rehearse. I'm so tired. I want to just go to sleep, but no sleep for the wicked. No one mourns the wicked. I didn't watch. Should I watch it? Is it on Netflix? I'll watch it. I listened to Here's the Thing. Kevin and Angel talk about it, and it just sounded like there was no real resolution at the end of it either. Don't watch it. Okay. It just sounds like it doesn't give me any real answers. At least this one, I have no idea what it's about, so I'm just watching it, But all right, you guys, thank you so much for joining. I hope you guys have a fantastic week. It is hump day. We are almost to the end of the week, and we are 1 week into September, almost 1 week into September. Can you imagine how fast it's gone? My drag name is Black Renaissance. So like Black Renaissance, but Black Renaissance. And I go by Renee. And here is my handle on Instagram so that you can follow should you want to. I'm only on Instagram right now. Yeah. So, yeah. All right, you guys, I'll talk to you later. Remember to be you, be true, and find your place. Bye. And thank you to all of those who showed up. I had 70 people in the room. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. And if you have the hee hee ha ha's, you can leave me a tip down below. All right. Bye. Jumping the line.